and Instagram Live. We have the honor today of having Peter and Jeremy from the Reef News Network. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Yeah, for those of you, actually, this is the second time we try because we had a little bit of a problem connecting, but then again, it's like there's no show that goes without technical difficulties, especially when we're dealing with alcoholic beverages.
Yeah. Listen, anybody that watches any of the Reef News Network live stream knows inevitably there's always some technical problem, but we make it through. We're here. I see people commenting. We got to go. We're live.
Yeah, we do actually. Just FYI, clarification and full transparency, if you are under 21, you're not supposed to be drinking. So please make sure you don't do that. I think Jeremy and Jeff, our guys here at CoralVue, saying that now we are perfectly live. So how are you guys doing? Everything okay with the virus and the pandemic, staying at home, staying safe? How's the family?
Yeah, we're good. So, Jeremy and I live close to each other, as people probably know, and we've been very fortunate in this kind of corner of Connecticut. We have been hit very mildly compared to other parts of Connecticut. So, we've been doing the social distancing. Jeremy records at home, and I record here in the studio still, and we splice it all together and make it sound like we're still sitting there. But it's good. It's good. My wife and I are fine, and the dogs are good. And Jeremy's got a lot more people to worry about, but I'm personally good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well too, man. A little stir crazy. It's tough being stuck at home all the time. I'm still out and about for work. I had a home inspection earlier today, but man, trying to stay home a lot with 4 kids at home is a challenge.
It does give you new respect for teachers, right? When they have the kids, you appreciate teachers now.
100%.
Not that you didn't before, but now it's like it's confirmed.
Tenfold.
Yes.
So I actually only have 3 at home. My 4th is old enough. She is actually a teacher herself.
Oh.
So I had appreciation, but it's newfounded trying to do 5th grader and 6th grader math. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this anymore. You guys changed everything.
I was talking to, one of Jeremy's kids, Liam, and the same thing. It was like subtraction and carrying the 1 or something when you carry. They don't do that anymore. And I'm like, how do you do it then? It makes absolutely, to me, I'm 44 years old, and it's like, that makes no sense to me,
Yeah, that's just the way you do it. What do you mean?
Magic math. That's what we call it, magic math now.
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
Exactly. So guys, everybody here, Reef News Network, tell us a little about the channel. Last time I heard that you guys had 40,000 plus subscribers and listeners that tune in. How do people listen to your show?
Yeah, so so podcasts are interesting. So unlike YouTube or Facebook or other social media platforms, you got one platform where you go. Podcasts are fed to multiple things. So there's literally, if you go into your phone app store and search for podcast app, you'll find 20, 30, 40 of them. So pretty much, easily. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can probably find us. So like the major platforms, obviously, is iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, I think. You can ask Amazon, I'm not going to say her name because there's one right here next to me, but you can ask who to play it, and she'll pick it up and play it for you. So pretty much anywhere. And we got some cool things in the works too. So we're audio only if people don't know, if you're new and joining the show for the first time. And so we're audio only, but we got some exciting new stuff coming that's going to add some visual elements to some stuff too. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We've been going for 2+ years. Haven't missed a week yet, right, Peter?
Nope.
About to drop episode 112 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thursday already. Yeah.
Yep. So that's like 112
Congratulations,
hours.
Guys. Holy crap. That's awesome, guys. I did. Jeff told me that 100th anniversary, and I was going to mention that, but you've mentioned it. That is fantastic. That's a milestone, guys.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
No, I'm sorry, Jeremy. So there's always the trouble with having one of these multiple chats, but yeah, it really is. It's when we started a couple of years ago, and I said to Jeremy, I called in Jeremy. I said, hey, I got this idea. I want to do this. Are you interested in coming in? Because if anybody knows Jeremy, they know, Jeremy's got the gift of gab. So I said, he's the perfect guy to come in on this. And I said, Jeremy, I got two things. I said, one is my requirement, and that's to get the best possible equipment and produce the best quality audio we possibly can for a reasonable amount of money. I invested a little money in that. And I said, but the other thing is consistency. I said, there's been a handful of podcasts, and there still are a handful of podcasts out there, that never ran with any consistency. It'd be, a couple of months and then go a few months and then nothing and then 4 things. And so I said, every week, hell or high water. There's been a few weeks that we've delivered a few days later than, where we should have, but we still got it in every week. And like Jeremy said, our average episode length is about an hour and 10. So 200 and, what are we at? 112, you said, Jeremy? 112. So probably 140 hours worth of content or so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Last 2 years.
Now, do you guys when you do the shows, you do them live, right? You don't edit it afterwards, or do you edit some of them, or kind of like pick and choose 50-50?
No, so we got two things. So we record the weekly episode, which is pre-recorded, and then it's edited down and cleaned up and everything. And but then we do some live events. We've done a couple live shows that we've broadcasted for various things. So one thing that I do quite a bit of that Jeremy unfortunately doesn't get to come out to a lot of because of his lifestyle is I go to a lot of shows, so we do a lot of broadcasting from shows and stuff, as where Carlos, I've seen you at plenty, but but pretty much the episodes are produced, edited, and then put out weekly on a scheduled time slot. But we could record at any given time. Sometimes it's Monday, sometimes it's the morning of the day it comes out.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Hey, Peter, I'm sorry, Jeremy. Peter, before we proceed, some of the viewers are saying that your microphone might be a little bit low. I'm not sure why. So let's see if we can tweak it up a little bit.
Check. Did that help at all? Somebody give me some feedback.
Yes. I have people texting me on my phone. It's like, hey, Peter's volume is a little low. So that was it.
All right. There we go.
There we go. Good. Hey, we can get again, more technical difficulties in the show, but that's what you do when you do live. That's what you get when you get live. All right. So before we proceed, though, I wanted to talk about last episode's CoralVue, because we had Adam at Battle Corals, who's known like the Jedi coral grower. I mean, he's been growing corals even before all the other big players, because I mean he's one of the big ones out there, but even before all the big players were doing it, which was great. I've had the pleasure of knowing him since he was even before the hobby, so he's just a fantastic guy. But we are about to announce the winner. So the winner of the $1,000 battle box coral is, he's from Iowa. Let me narrow it down that way. All right. And the rest of it, we'll give it at the end of the show. Just kidding. No, just kidding. I'm saying Brett Hartman. Brett Hartman from Iowa. He is the winner of the $1,000 battle coral battle box. So
that's awesome.
Brett, if you hear us, or if you hear the show, hopefully you're watching live, as you should be. Just send us a text message or a private message and our producer Jeff here is going to take care of you and get that information and pass it on to Adam, and then we'll ship out the corals. The only thing we ask is that you please send some pictures and let us see how everything is going. It's always appreciated. And give the big thanks to Adam at Battle Corals, because that was a fantastic price. I mean, I chatted with him and he's like, okay, Carlos, yeah, let's do $1,000. And I'm like, are you sure, man? $1,000? Are you sure? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. No problem. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So that was kind of fun.
That's awesome. Fun. And it was a great talk too. Yeah.
I mean, it's like people were interested. We had a lot of people. We had the analytics were excellent. I mean, the people were interested on that. And this is a guy that's been doing this for a long time and has beautiful looking corals. So you want to know what is he doing that I can do the same?
Right. Exactly. It's always interesting to hear like what someone else is being successful with, especially this long term, and try to pick up some nuggets that you can work into your own methodology.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's move on here. The whole thing about this show was primarily happy hour.
Yes.
That's the only way I was able to get Peter and Jeremy to join me, because they're like, no, I'm not doing that. Happy hour. Yes, please. Just kidding in here. Peter, I think your microphone is off. So your microphone, you're muted. Let me see if I can.
There you are.
There you are.
Gotcha. Yeah, sorry about that.
There you go. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so we decided to go over 4 course. I said, let's do 4 beers that you are interested. I wanted them to be local, because part of the show is about helping your local economy, your local businesses. And I'm talking, and I'm not going to just say fish stores, because fish stores are great. They're there for a reason, but also your restaurants, your breweries, everybody. If you want them to be around when we were able to get out, you got to help them out now. All right. So go ahead and let's see. Peter, what do you got there, man?
All right, so let's start. So I got a Taco Gato, which is a Goss from Finch Brewing Company. This actually is from your neck of the woods. This is from Chicago, but it was a cool beer that I'd been wanting to try, so I got that one. And then Thimble Island, that's a local brewery to, well, not exactly local to us, but that's in our area. And this is Ruby, which is a tart blonde ale brewed with natural grapefruit. And this is the order I'm going to drink them into. So next is Two Roads, which is a brewery up in our neck of the woods, and this is Peach Jam, which is what is this? It's an ale, that's right, with peaches and a hint of hibiscus. And then I'm going to finish it off with a Boston staple, Harpoon Brewery right here, baby. So I'm going to finish it off with my dessert beer, which is Mike's Pastry, which Mike's Pastry is in the Little Italy section of Boston, and awesome place. Anytime we go to Boston, we have drinks down over in Little Italy. We always stop in Mike's Pastry and get stuff. But this is a cannoli stout, and it's brewed with cocoa nibs, vanilla, cannoli shells, and other natural flavors. So that's going to be my dessert beer to finish off. And that's kind of how I'm going to progress through these guys. And then I got pretzels, but I'm not going to munch those in your ears. So now they're just here for visual effect.
So you drive everywhere to all the shows. So can I make a request for the Harpoon one next time I see you at the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds so tasty. I mean, that is dessert right there.
I will be sure to bring. So being I gave my list while you guys give yours, I'm going to crack my first one.
All right, sounds good.
Jeremy, what do you got, man?
All right, so I went with one of my all-time favorites. It's a classic, easy drinking beer, Narragansett. It is a Rhode Island beer. Really cool story behind it. The recipe for this was lost. And as there was a huge water shortage in the Narragansett area in, I think, in the late 70s. And then fairly recently, someone hunted it down and found one of the master brewers in like a retirement home or something along those lines and brought it back. So it's made a huge resurgence, very easy drinking. That's why I'm going to start with this one, Narragansett Lager. Excellent. Hi, neighbor. Next up, we're going to go with Beard Brewing Company, which is super local to us. They just actually moved their home main area of brewing into Groton, which is part of the town I live in, which is super cool. So I'm doing their Connecticut Casual, which I thought was super appropriate. It's delicious. Yeah. Next up, another Groton brewery is Outer Light. They are going to be doing their Swell East Coast Lager. So really nice, very good flavor. Actually, I've only heard about this one. This will be my first time trying it. Awesome. And then Gray Sail. This is Rhode Island brewery from Westerly. So a couple towns over, but in another state. Really interesting kind of for our whole demographic. Rhode Island plays in huge. It's like right there. So it's our neighbor. Gray Sail has great flavors. I really like their Captain's Daughter. This is a little different. Little Sister. It's a session IPA. So that'll be what I finish up with. It's kind of the heaviest, even though it's fairly light.
Can anybody tell that Jeremy works at a restaurant? I basically read the cans as I turned them around. Jeremy's
I didn't read anything.
The history of everything. So now if you want to drink with Jeremy, it's going to cost you $6.99 per drink to enjoy any beer with him. So
that works.
I do think that Jeremy forgot his flair.
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm wearing a fish shirt.
I almost just spit my beer all over the mic. So
I don't
doesn't have his 32 pieces of required
Yeah,
flair
32 pieces of flair, you know, exactly.
I don't like to talk about my flair.
All right, so which one are you going to open up first, Jeremy?
I'll go with that Narragansett.
All right. Okay, well, he does that. So I have a Lagunitas little something, and Chicago is like a hot zone for breweries. I mean, Jesus Christ, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 breweries, all within 4 miles of myself. Whoa. Yeah, exactly. So Lagunitas, it's a IPA. It's actually a really good. It's a little something hazy. And what I like about Lagunitas, though, is they have this amazing program where they rent out for free their main hall at the brewery for non-for-profit organizations, and then they can host their events there, and they will comp the beer, and they will comp the location, and on top of that, they allow you to bring in your own catering. So wow. If you're a hospital or if you're any type of non-for-profit, but you have to be officially non-for-profit, yep. you can host there, and you take most of the profits with you, which is that's supposed to be served. Obviously, they do it for tax purposes themselves, but right. You know, who doesn't?
Listen, I drink not-for-profit all the time, so
yeah,
exactly. So I got that. I have I have Two Brothers Prairie right here, which is an awesome little beer. One of my favorites, Two Brothers. I just love them. Then I have a little local here, which is just about 5 blocks away from my house, Goose Island, and this is Matilda. And there's a cool story about Matilda. It was the legend goes that in Europe, somewhere in Eastern Europe, an empress, her name was Matilda, and she commissioned a monastery to be built. And then back in those days, monasteries, monks, we used to do all sorts of things. And in Europe, they used to brew beer. So they came up with the recipe, and they had a special type of yeast that they use. So the owner of Goose Island, back at the turn of the last century, at the beginning of the last century, went there and found the yeast, and they have been harvesting that yeast that long, and that's how they get that flavor. It's a little more tart because based on the yeast, you get either more acidic or you get a little more soft. And the last one I have is a Great Lakes Conway's Irish. And Great Lakes is actually from Ohio, I think. Yes, Cleveland, Ohio. So it's not as local to me, but it's still Midwest. So I think I'm going to start with a little something right here.
Nice.
For you guys. So I'm going to open this up. And, well, cheers to 100 episodes, guys.
Cheers.
This is awesome. You guys, this is great. Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah. So now that everybody's open, let's call a social for everybody online. Everybody drinking with us. Bottoms up, baby.
Anybody that's drinking with us, cheers to everybody. Yep, do it.
So this is all good. Right. So Carlos, do you know of Finch Brew Company?
No, I don't.
Canned in Chicago, brewed and canned in Chicago, Illinois. So this is super good.
But I'm gonna look it up on that one, man, because I that sounds very tasty, especially with some tacos or some Mexican food in there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's got that like citrus, like kind of tart citrus to it, man. You had this with some like tacos and some guac and stuff. Oh. Yes.
And I think the secret for good Mexican food with beer is it has to be a citrusy beer. It has to be something with a little kick and maybe a little bit of citrus, because Latin American food, we're not afraid of lemons and limes.
Yeah.
Nope. The more, the better.
Yeah, I love it. That citrus adds such a nice touch, and it goes so well with like Mexican food or any South American where you get that spice and you have something to cut through it. Oh, yes. Love it.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the pandemic and how it's affecting everybody, here. I know Peter and I had a little, Jeremy, the three of us had a little conversation yesterday, kind of like a prelude to the show. And we were sharing some ideas and some thoughts we had about the pandemic and local fish stores. And and how we all thought that, you know, local fish stores, they have a place, and we should 100% support them, especially now, you know?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think?
I was at one today.
Yes.
Where did you go?
I went to Colchester Pet. I was doing my home inspection right next to it.
Thanks for the heads up there, buddy.
Sorry.
I need anything. I mean, geez.
I actually was like going to make it by the minute to get there and get to my home inspection to be on time. So I had called Jen and said, "This is what I want. Do you have it?" She said, "Yes, I'll have it bagged for you and ready." I pulled in, called, she came out and dropped it off. I handed her cash and was like, "All right, see you later." It literally was a 1-minute transaction. It was amazing.
So where's this fish store again? What's the...
This is Colchester Pet Shop. It's in Colchester, Connecticut. They're big on aquacultured fish. That's kind of their big thing. Really kind of cool, old school mom and pop shop.
Well, thank you for being open. I don't know if they're watching, but if they hear the word from us, thank you for being open and being there for our, you know, daily emergencies, because it seems like it sometimes.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah. That's cool. Peter, any local fish stores by you?
Yeah, you know, so Jeremy and I are close to each other. Colchester Pet's the local, but I attend to Colchester Pet is kind of a pain for me to get to more often. So typically I'm closer up to Rhode Island area when I'm out and about doing things. So I tend to go to our good buddy Scott Crow and OSA up there, the whole OSA crew. So OSA has kind of been my go-to. You know, you guys, anybody that listens to the podcast knows, you know, Scott and I, we travel to shows a lot together. Scott was probably the first person I ever told about this. And then Scott and I talk about, you know, business quite a bit. You know, it's interesting I'm a small business owner too. I have been for many years. I've owned many different kinds of businesses. So while it hasn't affected me because my IT company specializes in medical and dental, which the, you know, places I have been able to continue on. You know, I can see a lot of people that are hurting. Like, you know, I talk with Scott regularly, who not only is a small store, but right in the middle of this whole thing was moving and building out like a newer, bigger, better location and kind of got it crashed. But you know, I think the thing and talking with a lot of, you know, I talk with a lot of different people and talk with store owners all over the country, you know, for the podcast and stuff over the last few weeks, just checking in with people, see how they're doing. And a lot of people say they're doing okay. And you know, I mentioned this to you yesterday, Carlos, and I'll say it again here is, you know, a saltwater aquarium can't be neglected. So if you have a saltwater aquarium, you probably have a plan for maintaining it, buying the stuff you need, know what you're doing. You certainly, absolutely, people have been affected by this, and I've seen tanks go up for sale and everything else, and it's heartbreaking and horrible to see. But I've also seen the community come together and help each other. Local fish stores have been doing what they need to do with curbside delivery and stuff. But if you're gonna have a saltwater tank, you got to maintain it. You still need your salt. You still need, you know, your food and all this other stuff. You know, freshwater tanks a little easier. You know, you can kind of, aside from your food and stuff, you can put it set and forget it for a little while. But you know, a lot more. You got to keep your alkalinity up. You got to make sure your calcium's good. So I think the industry, I think our industry is okay. I'm getting the feedback from local fish stores that they're doing all right because they were proactive. They did curbside pickup. They did smart stuff to engage with their community and ensure that they're able to continue on. And the general consensus, and I'm sure, and if anybody's watching or listening to this, that, you know, as a local fish store that's suffering, my heart goes out to you. But the general consensus of people I've talked to across the country has been that, you know, it sucks, it's tough, it's hurting, but they're doing okay, and they feel that they're going to make it through this.
Yeah, I agree. You brought up Scott. He's got his Coral Farm opening this weekend for very limited public viewing. So like 6 people can go into the building and check out the farm. They have online gift certificates, all kinds of stuff you can buy online, which is really cool. A lot of stores are doing that kind of thing. And I think that's going to be like the tipping point, is reacting to this whole problem and coming up with creative solutions.
Yes. We have here in Chicago, we have quite a few local stores, but the incredible thing about Chicago is such a huge city, but in the actual city of Chicago, there's only like 2 fish stores, that carry salt water. Freshwater, yes. Yeah, it is a humongous market, yet that, all the other fish stores, the coral farmers and everybody, they are in the surrounding suburbs.
Okay.
And we know it's like, you from Chicago? Yeah, I'm from Chicago. Well, are you really from Chicago, or are you from Oak Park? No, I'm from Oak Park. So then you're not from Chicago. You know, that's just a Chicago guy talking, you know, because you're proud of it. But they, you know, they're all within the Chicago area. And one of the stores right here that I go to is Tank It Easy. So one of the workers there, I usually on Sundays I stop by, and Connor, he's a cool guy, and he's a great friend, and he always takes care of everybody. You know, he's always answering questions and everything. So, you know, it's just I just contacted him and I said, dude, I'm running out of fish food in here. What do you guys got there? It's like, Carlos, don't worry about it. You know, just I'll bring it over to my house and you can swing by and you can just PayPal the money. And I was like, okay, that's it. You know, so it was, you know, going out of his way to take care of people, but we got to help him out. You know, and let me make it clear that we're not saying don't order online.
Right.
The onlines are always good, but at this point in time, let's just show a little TLC to the local fish stores, because they really not that the other ones don't need it, but you know, these are the guys that are going to bail us out when things happen and we need to drive and get something within 2 hours.
Yeah, we need it right now. They're here for us. They're our backup plan. And, you know, the online vendors are probably doing tons of business right now because people are sitting at home online, right? Take the time and try to support local, because it will be there for you in the future if you take care of it now.
Absolutely. I mean, we have Kyle Caminita here saying, I have 2 and neither are super local. Jackson Fish and Fish and Coral and Just Fish are amazing. So yeah, thank you, Kyle, for for bringing up, and you know, so anybody around Kyle's area in I'm assuming Jackson, you know, help them out. It's a good thing. And then Eric Hageli, did I pronounce that? Lots of great stores in the Chicago suburb: Blue Line Coral, Reefwise, Reef Plus, Beyond the Reef, and more. Again, so it's Chicago area, you know, so that's awesome.
Hey, so Carlos, hang on one second, being you're talking Chicago area, I got to give a shout out to Bobby Moon, who's a buddy, and it's his birthday today. So
yes, it is.
Bobby, if you're seeing this,
salute, Bobby.
Happy birthday,
to you, buddy.
Happy birthday,
I
man.
know he's a local guy to you up, or I don't know, like you said, he's suburb Chicago. He's not Chicago proper, but
yeah. So, you know what? We have several prizes that we're giving out during this podcast, during this live video. So, you know, our first winner, which is the winner of the AutoAqua Titanium S3 TDS meter, and that's going to be Kyle. Kyle, thank you for suggesting, and thank you for watching. Very awesome. I have those in my RODI system as a backup, and they work fantastic. And you know what? The great thing about them too is that you can calibrate them.
Oh, nice.
These are awesome. So
you can calibrate them in the back.
Yeah. So you've heard me talk about it on the podcast, and when we do our end of the year recap episode, this will go on my list of favorite things because they're super nice. The display is awesome. You can calibrate them. They're well built. But I picked up a couple of these from you guys and put them in my whole mixing station to monitor water going in and out of the tank. And this is actually what helped me figure out that I had TDS from the storage bin I was using. And that's, probably causing some of my problems. So love these things. Super, super cool that you guys are giving them out. Anybody that gets those is going to love it. Anybody that doesn't get one, super cost effective. Even if your RODI system has one built in, a lot of those TDS meters that are built into those systems are really subpar. Pick up one of these. You can read it from across the room. Nice backlight display. Highly recommend it as an owner and a user. I love this product.
Nice, Peter. Nice,
Peter. Thank you so much. So going back to the local stores, just veering away into local restaurants and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we all have to eat, just like the fish. So though sometimes I do think that my fish eat better than I do. That is true. That is true. But I'm a true believer that the big chain restaurants, I think they're equipped to be able to handle this kind of storm. But yes. I think the mom and pops, the ones that have been, Italian restaurant, like in my place is Bella Notte. It's an amazing Italian restaurant. It's been around since 1995, but it's their only location. So my wife and I have ordered there twice, and we try to order at least once or twice a week from a local restaurant, and I think people need to do that as well.
Yeah, we do the same thing with my family. We do every Friday night. We go order from somewhere and pick it up. It's always a local spot. I'm especially sensitive to this. Peter brought it up. I work in a restaurant. It's my part-time gig. I'm a realtor full-time. And I just like to spread it out as much as possible and try to do a great amount of business for me. Like, often go out with my family. So we're doing actually more eating out than normal during this because these places could not exist if we don't support them, right? Like they could go under. It's very, very conceivable. And we've gone out every week. I always leave a nice tip for anybody that's there. These guys are out and working in a restaurant to give us food. That's like a big deal.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
got to agree too. I mean, a lot of my wife and I, we eat out regularly too. But now that we're eating in, we've made a conscious effort to. If you guys hear a weird noise, the wind is like blowing my siding just right. Maybe this weird noise. So if you hear that, I apologize. But we've been eating out more, and because we've been fortunate to not really be affected by this. Both our jobs have allowed us to go into a remote workflow and continue on, and we've been very fortunate. So we're trying to get back where we can. But a lot of restaurants have done very cool things. A lot of people have gone to like these family meal deals. So for $50, you get an entree, a salad, a side, this whole like big thing. And we'll go and buy those, and then we'll have 2 dinners and a lunch or whatever. And then a lot of restaurants, one restaurant that we love down the street was doing 50% off their whole menu. You couldn't even get like on the phone to them. It took like 10 tries just to get through. And then the woman's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'll take your order, but I can't guarantee you it'll be ready in like 2 hours. So communities really like come together to like support
they
this.
do.
And by the way, I'm going to crack my second beer. I hate to waste this, but I can't drink 4 full beers in the time we're doing this. So
what are you talking about?
Just gonna
All right.
on.
So for those of you, just a reminder, the winners are selected. You can actually, my producer Jeff is going to be posting the link to a small form, and then you get to choose. You get to choose out of the 7 which one you would prefer in terms of the items that we're giving away, and then we choose a winner for each of the items. And he's going to post it on Facebook. He's going to post it on Instagram, and hopefully he's going to post it on YouTube as well. But yeah, our main channel is kind of Facebook. We don't have enough people to be on all 3 channels at the same time, as it's like, so we just have to make a choice. I find that I have been eating out just as much, and that's your next one, right? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Okay, I found out that I've eating out just as much. I'm cooking a lot now, but the restaurants are doing everything they can. They're getting so creative. We have here in Chicago, we have a restaurant called Alinea, and Alinea is considered the best restaurant in the United States. But you go and eat there, and it's $1,000 for the sitting, because it's prefixed and everything. You have like about 20 different courses, and it's got the wine and everything. But right now, obviously, they don't have anything. What are they doing? They're putting food for $50 a person, and you go and pick it up. And obviously, it's not going to be the same gastro, chemistry thing that Alinea is known for, but it's high quality food that they put out for $50. It's like, why not?
$50 Michelin star food. I'd try that.
Yeah, definitely in a heartbeat.
All right, so I'm going for my Two Brothers Artisan Brew right here, just for that, because I love one of those. This is awesome. Yes. So that's CoralVue has been, most of the fish companies, even ourselves, the distribution, we've been going at it. I mean, we have, because we got to supply to the local fish stores. So we've been busy at everything. We're taking every precaution we can. People wearing gloves and people are wearing masks and everything, but clean it up. And we are going as far as we can, even during the closing, because we're still a pet industry. We can still open.
Yeah, you're considered essential.
We are considered essential. So, but for half of us here at CoralVue, it hasn't changed that much because a lot of us work remotely from home. So if people ask me, it's like, how is it working from home? It's like the same as it's been for the last 6 years, dude. Yep. Yeah. So let's go on and let's choose the next winner right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a winner for the Easy Masstick fish food.
I love
And
this stuff.
Another great one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
it's awesome. Have you guys? I'm assuming you've tried it before, and how do you like it? Do the fish love it?
Yeah, we both use it. Jeremy's
Love
got a great story for it. So
yeah, so I have a extremely picky copper banded butterfly. The only thing it would eat is frozen, and I can only feed frozen once a day. I don't have a ton of time. But the first time I put this in, boom, copper banded was right on it. Like, he was one of the first fish there, not even like, and they're kind of shy fish, you know, they're usually a little more reserved. Every time I go in the tank and put it on the glass, boom, 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 you can hear him hitting the glass and taking it. It's awesome.
Wow. So we're going to make this one a little bit different this time around. So I need somebody to put a picture of their favorite beer they're drinking right now. The first person to put a picture right now of their favorite beer on Facebook, and I'll give YouTube love and Instagram love. The first person to put a picture of their drinking beer right now on Facebook wins the ECSPS food Masstick from EasyReefs. So
Nice.
yeah, I know. It's like, I love that stuff. It's fantastic. It makes even my Mandarin fish eats that stuff.
really,
That's awesome.
Yeah. The hard part is getting the other fish to stop eating it before the Mandarin fish gets there.
Yeah, I found it's perfect, especially for like nano and pico tanks. So I have a nano tank with one clownfish in there, and and it's hard because it's a nano tank. Like, I don't have a power head in there. I'm relying on the flow of the pump and stuff, and just it's not set up on a controller. So if I wanted to feed and like turn stuff off, it's a big pain. But he's taken to it really well. I just break a small chunk off, stick it to the glass, and it's great. It slow releases. You can kind of see chunks come off, so he chases those and he pecks at it, and I love it. I mean, it's great for any tank, but the size that I had really worked well. The fish in my big tank loved it too, but the nano tank was really like such a sweet spot for this thing to really control nutrients and not be overfeeding and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. The other thing that I've noticed with it is, as the fish are hitting at it, there's a ton of little particulate matter going around it. And I always notice my coral polyps out and like having almost a feeding reaction to it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We've used it, and I've used it, and the same thing. The particles come out, and even if the big fish go at it and they don't let the small ones out, they're so crazy at it. The small ones just they're the smart ones. They just wait around, and then everybody else eats, and the little fish is just like, yeah.
I'll get this little piece and this little piece and this little piece and this. Yeah.
Yeah. And the big guys are like, I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
Carlos, is it available in bigger? Because I forget how you size them, but the ones that we got were like half the size of a dice, if you will. Do you guys have bigger stuff for bigger fish? I see like the sample that's playing on the video right now is a big thing.
We don't have it. That's a good suggestion. We'll bring it up to EasyReefs, and make sure they get a little bit bigger on that one. I did love the fact that they made it, that they supplied it pre-made, because I'm a lazy person, and sometimes it's like I got the same thing and I'm like, I used it once or twice and I'm like, it works, but it's too much work. So with this, I just grab the little thing and you know what, it works great is my dad. When I'm out of town for the show or something, my dad comes over to the house and feeds the fish, and he just grabs the thing, sticks his hand and sticks it to the glass, and he doesn't have to do anything. It's like it's pretty much simple.
It's amazing like how well it holds, because there's a lot of videos of different people taking frozen foods and just taking a chunk of frozen food, sticking it to their glass, and it holds. I never got it. Like about one or two bites, and then the big chunk of frozen food would fall into the sand and be a mess. But this stuff, man, I mean, even with fish like pounding on it, it does not let go of the glass, and it's great. And it doesn't leave any residue. It's not like it's leaving stuff on your glass. Even if they don't pack everything off of it, it does eventually just kind of dissolve out. And anytime you're scraping your glass anyways, anything that might be there. But I was really impressed with that. I mean, again, I thought a great product, and especially like you said, Carlos, because it was pre-made. I had some stuff that you kind of had to mix yourself, and it worked great. It was kind of the same idea, but I've talked about it again and again. How lazy I am as a reefer. This stuff just really like hit the sweet spot for me.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So my producer just told me that they can't post pictures on the Facebook live feed. So you know what? Again, another technical difficulty there. So we're gonna change it. We're gonna grab it, and so I'm gonna do this. So I need the first person right now post the address and website of your local fish store. Put it on the live Facebook live comment, and that person will win the Easy SBS. All right.
Nice,
So,
nice.
because I mean, I have to make it fair to the people that are watching. So,
Yeah.
yes. And then somebody said, Bobby, happy birthday, bud. So, Pete, oh, that was Peter. Thank
That
you.
was me. I saw Bobby actually is in the chat. He joined in, so I figure he probably missed the shout out before. I thought I'd say it in the chat. So, but
that is awesome. There's a all right. And then let's go ahead and do another one. So another person that posts a address of the local fish store in YouTube wins a second Easy SBS.
okay,
So
let's do being we're on our second beer. I don't know, Carlos.
yes.
So let's do another. Let's do a second social. So everybody drink.
Say
Everybody
everybody
drink.
drinking. Thank you.
You know, this has really inspired me because people said they love this concept, and people were texting me and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome." So this has really inspired me. So, Carlos, I don't want to hijack your feed here, but you guys are going to be invited to this too. You guys have inspired me to do a power hour. So if you don't know what a power hour is, it is one shot of beer per minute for an hour straight. So, and you end up 60 shots of beer. I'm going to pay the money to buy the big level of Zoom so we can have hundreds of cameras on screen at once. And we're going to do an RNN power hour where there's actually this woman, Ali Spinoli or Spangoli, or I always mispronounce her name. She's an artist and a musician. I love her YouTube channel. She's really awesome. Like big, famous person, not like somebody I know, but she did a song called the Power Hour song. So she wrote an hour-long song, and every minute is a different part of the song. So we're going to play the Power Hour song, and we're going to do 60 shots of beer. I'm going to get that fixed, and in the next couple of weeks, everybody come. Carlos, I want you there, leading the way, doing shots of beer. So we're all going to get.
Oh my God! Why does everybody look at me leading the way? You know who should bring in? Alex, the Germans. Oh my God!
Oh yeah, we get them on for sure.
All right, good. So, let's move on to the next prize, and we're going to talk about the next prize before we move on, before we actually announce the winners. The light reactors, and I know Peter, you have one of those.
And we
The
both
Reef
do.
Octopus.
Yeah,
Me
we
too.
both have them,
Reef
yeah.
Octopus. Yeah, you both have. How do you guys like it?
Oh my
I think
God.
the beast. Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy. I mean, we've been talking too much, so jump on it.
Dude, I absolutely love my reactor. 1 month. Every month I have to harvest, and it is so packed full. You literally can't see the light coming out of the reactor anymore. When you harvest it all and have just a little bit of Chaeto in there, or whatever macroalgae you're using, you get a really nice like pink glow in your sump. It's beautiful. Looks great. Within a month, literally it's dark. You can't see anything. You just see the white of the, the reactor. I absolutely love this thing, and it's super easy to service. I've been keeping up with it on Instagram. If you check out my feed, I had a video 1 month ago, and it was literally like a month to the day because I harvested last night, and it was so full. Like, it's clean. There's no hair algae in it. Everything is awesome. It's a great product, and it was so easy to install.
Yeah, I think Jeff reposted one of the pictures I had sent him, or maybe I posted the picture on social media and he reshared it or whatever. But yeah, I like held my hand up next to the pile of macro, and same thing, like that picture that was posted up on here that Jeremy's talking about, every one of those baskets. And when I tell you that I started with maybe a pinch, like this, like a ball like this big in each chamber, like I had one little piece, I ripped 3 things, and then within weeks it was just hammered, every chamber, like Jeremy said too, you couldn't even see light through the thing. Unbelievable. But not only that, an added benefit that a lot of people don't realize with these things and scrubbers and stuff too, because I saw Bob Winfrey comment and about his IceCap scrubber, is that they also breed, your pods and everything else. Like the amount of life that was in that macro I took out. When I took it out, I dipped it all in the sump to make sure it got everything out that I could before I chucked it on the macro, because it's so much macro. Yes, look at that. That's what ours look like every time we harness. But the amount of life that grows in there is unbelievable. So that's an added benefit.
sometimes I felt sad of throwing it away because I was like shaking them off and trying to get them off there, even though at least get to the fish. But it's like some of it I just had to toss away, put it in a plastic bag and then just toss it. Don't put it in the flush, don't throw it in the river, don't do that. I mean, that's bad.
You gotta
That's
throw it
bad.
away.
Yes, you got to throw it away.
Actually,
one quick thing. Garden.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Peter, that's a great point. I actually have I'm working on a guy on composting the Chato to create a really nice compost for gardening. And seeing what the nutrient like breakdown would be and if it's acceptable for vegetables, because putting something that's saltwater based may not work so well.
Yeah.
But around here, seaweed is used a lot in like all kinds of different gardening aspects. So I was like, you know what? I have this, and every month I get it. I don't want to throw it away. Often I get hit up and people want it, so I just give it to them. They're looking for a Chato for a fuge or something like that. So I'm highly suggesting, instead of a fuge, go this route. I love my light reactor, and it's tight and compact and neat. It is clean. Instead of like a disorganized mess in your sump, it is like a really nice, slick product.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So the winner of the two winners of the EasyReefs,
Masstick.
is Easy Masstick. YouTube winner is Nick Viramontes, and the Facebook winner is Earl Kerchesney.
Good luck with that. I mean, Earl lives right up the street from us, and we can't pronounce his last name. So
no idea.
I want to. So you guys can probably see here my stein. This is the CTARS for Oktoberfest stein from 2018. CTARS is our local club. That's the Connecticut Area Reef Society. And
Peter, great idea.
Yeah, good job, Jeremy. So Earl is now, I believe Earl's the president. He's official. I know things just got changed around, but I believe Earl is officially the president now for this year. And so a huge shout out to Earl, congratulations. And while I'm talking, I enjoy Ruby. I highly recommend it. It was nice grapefruit flavor. I'm going to move over to now my peach jam by Two Roads. And huge shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I got my phone down here. You keep seeing me looking down, and I keep seeing, but man, so many people like in commenting. This is awesome, man. Just huge shout out to everybody that's in here. So
yeah, it's doing really great
joining us.
So I'm going with the Matilda's Goose Island, which is one of my favorites. I had a funny, great story about this one. My sister works for one of the biggest grocery stores here in Chicago, and the grocery store sometimes sponsors like dinners that you can sign up, and they're like $20, and you go dinner paired and everything. This time they had a dinner at the Goose Island bourbon brewery, not the regular, but the bourbon brewery. And so what they did is they had this chef from the South Side came over with chefs with cooking students, and they created this dinner they made bread using Matilda's yeast. They made sauces with the beer, so everything was paired. Oh my God, that was one of the best meals I have ever had. My wife was mad. My wife was mad at me because she had to work and she couldn't go. So I called my best friend Michael and I said, "Hey Michael, you want to go for dinner? You're my date." He's like, "You drive, I buy," because it was like $20. So we went down there and it was the two of us having dinner. I was like, "Oh my God, it was so good. It was great." So moving on to the prices. It's going to be impossible, but swell.
Yes, this is the East Coast swell.
Yes, awesome. So, sorry, I wanted to say that going through all the prices is going to be a little bit difficult with everybody. So please make sure that you fill out the forms that we're putting. My producer Jeff is doing. Put them in there, and then we will contact you. We will contact you if you're choosing as the winner. So we also have. Oh my God! Look at you, Mason jar. I love it. Love it. So we also have an IceCap Gyre 4K and a dual pump Wi-Fi controller. So the whole pair. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. We're going to talk. We also have ICP water analysis test kit also given away, and that includes postage nowadays.
Nice.
So the postage, it comes in a nice box with this says prepaid postage. So you literally open the box, fold it differently, and put it back in there. So they're even saving you in terms of waste, which is awesome.
Carlos, it also comes with 2 vials now too for RO testing, right?
Yes. So you can test your RO water and you can taste your regular salt water.
That's awesome.
We also have a Klir DI4, the smaller one of those.
Oh man!
Filter. And I want to make a clarification about that one. And you know what? Off the top, it's like, as a manufacturer, we know when we've screwed up. And that Fleece filter, the first time around, the motor wasn't strong enough. And if you read the comments in online, they're not so good. But also, if you read the comments online, they date back about a year.
Yep.
So we listened to everybody. Everybody was telling us that it's not working. And then we went back to the drawing board and we figured out that the motor wasn't strong enough. So instead of a three revolutions per minute motor, we switched to a higher torque, 12 revolutions per minute, 11 actually. And ever since, our support portal requests for the Klir have gone down from this to almost 0.
So, I'll say I was an early adopter of the Klir, and, and I was I had the 7-inch, I had the big one, and it had the small motor in there. And I talked to you guys, I believe in Rap California. Yeah, Rap California, because Jeff was there, we chatted about it. And you guys sent me out the new motor, and just the holding them side by side, physically, like visibly, the difference in the size of the motor and everything else. And I was fortunate. I didn't have a lot of the problems that a lot of people had, but when I started using it early on, I didn't have, my nutrient level wasn't that low. It wasn't turning that often, and it wasn't really working that hard. But since switching over to that, and we talked about this on the podcast too, because after I got that and switched it over, we kind of said the same thing you said, Carlos, is that if you go around and look, you're going to see stuff that isn't great, but it's because there was a problem with a part that got changed that you guys warrantied out with no questions. And
yes,
and so I love it. I run dual 7-inch now. I run a
2 of them,
slave
right?
setup. Yep, 2 of them, and it's amazing. Even running 2 of them, how both of them are like evenly catching nutrients out of it.
Yes.
So because a lot of people were like, God, that's really overkill. Why are you running 2 of these things?
No.
Those are the 2 4-inches. So I got the ones that are even bigger than that, the 2 7-inches. And they are both like pulling stuff out. And I've noticed a significant reduction in the amount of skim mate that I get. Since I've gone to the master slave setup with that, those guys really pull out a ton of nutrients.
Yeah, we actually talked a lot about that. The whole master slave setup. Yeah, and it's great. They're super interesting. And you know what? That's a sign of a great company reacting that quickly to some negative feedback and making it right. That's awesome. I actually didn't know about that. So that's impressive.
Yeah. And we want to say that if anybody out there has the old motor, even if it's out of warranty, just send us an email, support@coralvue.com, and we'll make it right. Please. I mean, at least in this case, we will make it right, because we know it was, we screwed up. And we admit it. I mean,
that's awesome.
It happens. I mean, it's like you can test it as much as you want, but until you actually put it out in the wild, you really don't know.
So let's salute to that.
So
social.
Thank you.
Social.
Cheers. So somebody asked, what was I drinking? I am drinking the Goose Island Matilda, which is one of my favorite all-time favorites. Peter, what are you drinking again?
Yeah, I'm doing the Two Roads Peach Jam, and so far this one's not my favorite. It's not it's more ale than peachy, which for some people are fine, but I love peaches so much that I really wanted like a peach flavor, and it's like subtle peach, and you kind of taste the hibiscus, which isn't my favorite either. But the other two are great. But it's all right if you're into ales, you would like this more than I'm giving it credit for.
Yeah.
So
what
Peter,
about you, Jeremy?
I'm drinking the Outer Light Brewery's East Coast Swell East Coast Lager.
Right.
And I'm drinking out of a mason jar. Pete, you brought up the peach. I know you love the peach from our buddies, the Reef Shine guys, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
That's your
big
gig,
shout out.
right?
Hey, cheers to those guys, because they're awesome.
Absolutely. So I got
awesome.
a case of peach like sitting in my basement that has been weathering me through this quarantine time. So the peach is my favorite, and then apple's my second. So big shout out to our boys, Jacob, Seth, and Tim. Yeah, you know what's weird? You know what's hurting me the most over this is not going to the shows. Like I feel like I'm missing my Reef family, you know? So
yeah.
I ended up going to shows so regularly last year that I had this huge group of people that I would see like once a month, that now it's going on 6, 8, 9 months that I haven't seen anybody. And that's like the worst part. Like I miss you guys out there, man. I miss doing the shows, and it's a ton of work, and it's at the end of the day, it's exhausting. And every time the year wraps up, I'm like, I'm not going to do that again. But then as soon as show season like starts ramping up, I'm like, all right, where do I sign up? Like, where's the list? Where do I go? But man, I'm missing people. That's been the hardest part about this is the social distancing. I do believe it was warranted, and we've weathered this as well as we have because of that. But but I miss my local friends, but I really miss my Reef and family too. So
yeah, we all do, and I hope everybody's safe, and when we get out of this, we're gonna be stronger, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I want to talk about the last price, because I've been holding back on that one, and the last price we have is the CoralVue Hydros WaveEngine. And that's the big one.
My God.
That's the big one. So you get you can win a CoralVue Hydros WaveEngine, which can run 4 pumps at once. So you see everybody, there's those yellow ports right there. The yellow ports allow you to connect 4 pumps, and they could be Reef Octopus, they could be Masstick, or they could be IceCap. And the controller will not only control them together as one, but it will also power them. So you get rid of 4 power supplies. Then the purple outputs on the right have the 0 to 10 volt in and out. So you can actually control 0 to 10 volt pumps like the Abyss, or like any 36 volt pump that the power supply can't handle. And on top of that, inside this unit, there is a there's an Ecotech RF chip that will allow you to pair with Ecotech pumps. Now, regardless of direct drive, which are the ones connected directly to the pump, or the 0 to 10 or the wireless, they all work together in this unison with about 10 different flow patterns that the WaveEngine has. So regardless of what pump it is, they all are part of this WaveEngine. And I know you guys have one. I know Peter recently installed one. And Peter, I know you sent those comments that you kind of didn't like you thought that the app that could be better. And
so let me clarify. So Jeremy's got the WaveEngine. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Carl. Jeremy's got the WaveEngine. I was using the app through my Gyre 4K. That's what I'm running the app with. So my feedback was based on the Gyre, and then I helped Jeremy because Jeremy was having some issues with the app and setting up his WaveEngine. So him and I kind of went through that together too. But Jeremy's the one that's running the WaveEngine there. And then I think you called Carlos directly, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And he was so helpful. So I think really what it takes is just getting the knack of it, kind of understanding what each thing does. Because I had it set up and I was not like quite getting there. Like I was off on one step. And then as soon as I talked to you, I was like, oh, now I get it. Click, 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 and boom.
And the thing about it one thing I've noticed though, and it's that for the last 20 plus years, we've all been conditioned to think controller one way. One way. Yeah. We've all been conditioned to think Windows, and all of a sudden they throw you a Mac in front of you, and then you're like, I don't like it, or this is wrong. And it's like, yes, we made some mistakes and we have changed them. I mean, the app is constantly changing, and I show that. We're going to talk about this with you guys a little bit because I show you a little bit preview. But the firmware is always being updated. We're always listening. But that's what I think is happening. It's like you're thinking of configuring each pump from the outlet one time, while we are asking you, it's like, no, you don't have to do that. Configure a group and then just put the pumps in the group and they all do the same thing. But it's hard to wrap your head around that.
That was a great analogy. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. You're right. I mean, most people have been using one thing for a long time now, and they're the Windows users, and now you're like, Windows isn't here anymore, use a Mac. And you're right. I mean, it's the same kind of feedback I hear from people that switch over, and because I use both regularly, and I get a lot of people that'll switch over and start asking Mac questions. So that was such a perfect analogy.
Yes, it is. And so recently I just picked up two. So when Carlos and I talked, I grabbed all the info on programming my two IceCap Gyre 3Ks, little older pumps, but they're great. They're on the back wall pumping out, and you can control these pumps like based on where they're located in the tank. You can do all kinds of different things like creating separate groups. So I grabbed up two Masstick XF350s. So I'll have two Gyre 3Ks, two of them, two XF350s, and an MP40 in my tank.
And then Jeremy will have a tsunami in his tank because he's got far too much flow.
Jeremy takes dips in his tank and he's like, "Hon, you want to get into the whirlpool? Yeah, let's
the tank / jacuzzi.
I can literally lay down in my tank if I want to. So it's 7 feet long.
Oh God, that thing is, yeah. So I that's what I wanted to convey to people, that it's, and you know what, we made some mistakes because when we first released the WaveEngine, we had this connection process where you had to go through Wi-Fi, and you had to connect to the unit's Wi-Fi, and then you had to get out of the unit's Wi-Fi, connect to your home Wi-Fi, and I admit, it was not the best thing. So since it's produced here within CoralVue and the engineers here, you said Don, because Don is the engineer, and we've been guests at your show. One time with Don.
Yeah, you and Don did the episode.
Don, we can't do this. Let's think about this. And we sat down, and within 2 days, we came up with the Bluetooth concept. And once we installed that Bluetooth concept, it made, and I noticed it right away because support tickets went from here down to almost none just by making that tiny little switch. Right. So we're constantly tweaking things.
And it wasn't like it wasn't working. It was just a difficult step.
Yes.
To get past.
Yes.
And you can control them locally or through Bluetooth, which is awesome. Like there are times when you'll be across the country and you can control your pumps from your phone. How cool is that?
Yeah. We have a question from a user here, Carlos. How many pumps can be hardwired to the Wii, including with splitters? Okay, so you can actually control 4 through the direct drive, and you can control another 4 through the 0 to 10 volt. Okay.
Can you if you have the Masstick RF module or whatever it's called?
No, it doesn't. No,
it doesn't do that as well.
No, it does not do that. So it can control, but it can control hardwired, 8 hardwired pumps that I can think of. Yes, 8 hardwired pumps, and then it can also and then wireless Ecotech. There's no limit to that, because the way it works with Ecotech is it just sends out a signal, and then whoever's listening to the signal, whatever slave is tuned to it and captures this. It's like a television. The network sends out the signal, and if you tune your television to that channel, it'll follow that channel. Otherwise, it doesn't. So there's, it's unlimited. But Peter, you sent out some comments, and we took them to heart. We looked at them, and I'm not going to lie to you, Peter. And I know they came from the right spot, and you're trying to help. But with me being so close to the Peter, I was like, I was a little bit like hurt.
No,
but then after I got over it, which was like 2 seconds, I was like, you know what? He's right. So we went back with the engineer, and unfortunately, I can't show everybody here what we did. But Peter, I gave you a little preview.
You did.
And what did you think? What did you think about it?
It's all the right changes. So yeah, and I know you guys got feedback, not just from me, but I also appreciate. So my background in history has been in web development and design and stuff, and now I'm in IT and computers and everything. So I know what it's like to put your heart and soul into a project and develop something and build something, and then you present it to the client or the end user, and they're like, and then it's just like a punch in the heart. So I absolutely appreciate what you feel, but I'm glad you guys listen, and it is hard to get past that. And I think that's such an important thing to recognize here, is that you guys did get past that and realize that you're trying to make something for the masses, something that's going to better people's lives and tanks and all that stuff. And the new app is awesome. It's exactly what it needed to be from every aspect now. The old app was fine. It did just great, but you guys really took that idea of Windows and Windows and Mac and now kind of made your app have its own bridge. So, and now the app's going to teach you how to be a Mac user from a Windows user, as opposed to you having to kind of figure it out on your own to kind of ride with that analogy you're going. And I think it's important, automation control, it's the wave of the future. You guys are really capitalizing on some smart ideas here, reducing the power bricks, reducing clutter. We talk about, I know constantly people talk about it, and us too, oh yeah, think of all those power bricks you don't have, now clogging up your tank and the wires and everything else. Think about the amount of power you're no longer running, so while the WaveEngine itself is obviously running more power to kind of power these pumps too, it is not a one-to-one relationship. You are hands down like saving electricity by going into this and using pumps that are within the ecosystem to get rid of your power bricks. So all around benefits, but it is huge. I mean, I can't say enough good things about you guys, for what you do listen to. You have a great program where you reach out to different people and listen to the feedback and make changes. You can see how much is changing and going into, and the fact that you guys have developed this in-house really allows you guys to be so proactive with that. And a lot of companies don't have that benefit, and I think it haunts a lot of companies and can kind of tank something when they're relying on third-party people. But you guys got Don, you got the big brain himself there. So to be able to just sit down and say, Don, let's tweak this, and he fiddles with it for a day and says, all right, done, is amazing, as opposed to so many people that like outsource to a development team, third party or whatever. So I can't wait for it to go public. I can't wait for the actual Hydros app or the Hydros controller to come out and be able to kind of put it all together and really see it is. But I'm super excited. You guys are really pressing the envelope for that automation, which is going to be so big in the coming years.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I'm moving to my fourth beer, by the way. So
yes. Yes.
Let's do that.
I have my Conway's Irish Ale right here. This was my wife's suggestion because she loves Great Lakes Edmund Fitzgerald.
That statement. Good thing you didn't take too long of a pause.
Great Lakes Edmund Fitzgerald. She is a big fan of that. I like the beer, but I wanted to try something different, so I went with the Irish Ale. What about you, Peter?
I'm cracking open the Harpoon. I'm trying my Mike's Pastry Cannoli Stout from Harpoon Brewery. I'm super excited. It smells lovely. You can smell the chocolate for it. So, Jeremy, what do you got?
I got the Little Sister Session IPA.
That's fantastic.
So, Peter,
go ahead, please.
Oh, real quick. My daughter stops at Mike's Pastry every time she comes home from Vermont, if she comes that route, to get cannolis because they are world renowned.
Oh, they're the bomb. And Carlos, you're going to like this. I'm definitely going to bring some out to you because this is good.
This is good.
You're a stout guy. You're going to like this.
I love those are my favorites.
Flavors they describe.
We was it a few years ago? We at CoralVue we were installing this new warehouse management system, and I was there for 3 weeks nonstop. Not like flying back and forth between Chicago and New Orleans, but I just flew down there and I was there for 3 weeks. And at the bar, there was a local bar in Slidell, Old Town, and we had at the end of the night. Every day, because it was local. At the end of the night, every night, we had our Bobby, the bartender. He's an awesome guy. He would serve me a peanut butter stout.
Oh yeah.
Wait for it, and then he would fill it up like 3/4 of the way, and then he would grab a splash of this French framboise beer and just splash it in and then let it sit. And it was the last beer that we would always have every night. So as soon as we did that, he knew it was give us the check and everything. But it was like drinking peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it was so good. Oh my God. I go back there and that's the first thing I want to have,
That's awesome. I love New Orleans. I went down for MACNA a couple of years ago, and I actually went twice that year because I did another conference with my wife, and there's so much drinking history there. It's amazing. But it's like hurricanes. I had my first Sazerac, like mind-blowing, amazing drink. So much fun. I love NOLA.
Good. Good, good, good. So let's talk about, we've talked about enough about our products in here. Let's talk about your show, guys.
Yeah.
How can people listen to your show? How can they subscribe? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Jeremy, I'll jump in on this and then
yeah.
So inevitably if you got a smartphone, and it's interesting. So I got to say, podcasts across the board, because I pay attention a lot to the podcast news in general. I listen to a lot of stuff, and podcast listenership is down. Unfortunately, ours only went down about 3% or so because probably we're such a pointed, topic or niche topic, But podcasts in general are way down because nobody's at the gym, nobody's driving their car. That's where people really consume the bulk of the podcasts. But so if you have a smartphone, you inevitably have a podcasting app on it. And if you open up said app, or if you listen to Spotify or iHeartRadio, you just type in Reef News Network, you're going to find it. You just click on the subscribe button there. If you're on a smartphone or you listen at work while you're on your computer, you can certainly go to our website, reefnewsnetwork.com, and there's a built-in player. Each week we do a post with all the show notes. There's a built-in player there. We're part of the reefs.com family, and every week our podcast is posted over at reefs.com. So if you pay attention to reefs.com normally, you'll find every week it gets posted there. You can pull it up again, and the player's kind of embedded in it. But yeah, it's all over the place, and again, anywhere you listen to any, I think just about every audio app now has some sort of podcast thing built into it. So
even Pandora, right?
Yeah, I think in Pandora you get podcasts in now. So
Bob Winfrey says that he listens to it at work while delivering the mail. So thank
Bobby.
you, Bob, for keeping our mail going. We appreciate that, and thank you for listening too. Reef News Network. It's there. You guys are awesome. I love it. The first time I listened,
we gotta confess, Carlos. Hang on, Bob's my across the lake neighbor. So.
And he comes over my house like once a week to help me fix something.
I'm surprised he didn't Zoom bomb us in here. Hey, neighbor, in the window right there. It's fun. It's amazing how people are listening to it and how people are trying to kill time. But the first time I listened to you guys, I turned it on and I hear this and all this introduction you have, and I'm like, I had to look twice. It's like, am I listening to Sports Network? I mean, it sounded like, that introduction. I'm like, this is kind of cool. Let me keep listening, and it was great. You guys have that sports-like feel to it, that it just flows. At least for me, it's very easy to listen to. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's absolutely. So when I decided to do this, I knew I didn't want to go solo. Like, I love there's a great picture of our boy Devin when he was in the studio. That's the studio here at the house. So
and I love the arcade machine. That's awesome.
So I'm actually
he's got 3 of them.
Now I got 5 of them now. So
what?
Yeah.
I gotta come over.
You know what, Peter? I have a friend. Just a quick shout out to my friend Dave Paulson. He actually restores those machines.
So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. These aren't real machines. These are like 3/4 scale machines made by this company called Arcade One Up, and they're only a few $100 each, and have a bunch of different games on them. I love them. They play just like the real thing. I just saw you had that was like an OG picture with Scott Crow there. That was probably like episode 4 or 5.
5, I think. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell this little story because I don't work there anymore, but where you saw it sitting was a conference room at Citizens Bank corporate office in Cranston, Rhode Island, where I used to work, because Scott lives up there. Jeremy drove up for it, and I brought all the equipment with me, and we actually sat in a conference room.
Oh my God, that's
after hours. This is like 6, 7 o'clock at night. And recorded a podcast there, dragged all the equipment up. So, but yeah, that's got to be like episode 4 or 5. That's awesome.
That's with Scott Crow from OSA.
Yeah,
that's
you've
awesome.
never seen Mr. Crow. That's him right there in all his glory.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just a quick question here. Dennis is asking. Okay, I have to ask Carlos. Is the lighting on your tank the hybrid LED T5s? And I go, yes. I actually run LEDs, 4 LEDs spaced 12 inches each, and then I run the spectral T5s from Giesman. So
nice.
I have them right there. That's that tank, and every now and then I post pictures of my tank on Instagram, and people see them. But anyway,
hang on, is that the Aquatic Life T5 retrofit?
No, that's a Giesman Stellar.
The whole fixture is set like that.
Picture's Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't. It's kind of so blurry, I can't see.
It's hanging,
hard
but
to
the
say.
whole picture, it's kind of hard to say. But you know what? I'll put pictures later
Yeah,
afterwards and
sorry,
show you. But
Yeah.
I do a T5. I'm about to actually, in a little bit while, I'm going to upgrade those lights to the new Philips Coral Care. So I'm going to have the Philips Coral Care with the T5s right next to them, and that's going to be a major upgrade. So
that's going to be attractive.
So that's awesome that you guys. Oh, are you? Yeah, the Philips stuff. I was so excited to see that you guys were working with them to bring them in because, Philips. Obviously, if anybody knows, Philips, they know they're industry leader in home lighting. These have been wildly popular in Europe for a long time. Like you go to any kind of European, channels or whatever, these are like king of lights over there. So it's really exciting to see that you guys, work with them to get to bring them into the States and distribute them because, there've been the last couple of years kind of rumors, you could kind of get them from somewhere if you knew somebody, but I can't wait for these to be mainstream for you guys because, and they're obviously, an updated, newer version than what, people were dealing with the last couple of years ago, but super, super cool. It's really exciting to see what that's going to do for the lighting industry.
In the light and there's no hotspot. The lights are evenly distributed throughout the entire surface of the unit. So you don't have those hotspots. It's kind of like the new thing going around. But obviously Philips has put a lot of research into that. So that's what we did. If you just saw the pictures right there, that was the pictures over at the CoralVue office, and he's running for our boss, Dave. Hey, Dave. He makes this happen. He has the 4 Philips black ones with the Stellars T5s there. So that, and his tank is exploding with growth. I mean, it is just, lighting is part of it. Lighting is a big part of it. But, as we talked about it on the last episode, there's a little bit of patience and TLC that you have to put into it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's all about the balance.
It's all about.
That sum up this hobby, as a whole?
Yeah,
patience.
It's so hard because a lot of people want everything yesterday, and this is nowhere near yesterday. This is more like down the road.
Honestly though, one thing I think if you want to try to find the silver lining, I think people have learned a level of patience through having to be quarantined, or not necessarily quarantined, but kind of stay at home, social distancing, and everything.
Cheers to that.
Else. Yeah. That I think it's really benefiting people's tanks. People are now learning that you got to take it down a notch, find other ways to be calm and not expect quick results, and really kind of spend time and invest in their tanks. So if you're looking for some positive, that's got to be it.
Look at the growth in this picture. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that tank is only a couple of years old. I mean, the growth is there, and if you really get close to it, you can actually see the encrusting of the corals. It's not like it's a lot easier to find tanks, and you see them on Facebook all the time where the tanks are beautiful, but if you really look at the base of the coral, there's absolutely no encrustment, which means that they just put the coral there. It's staging it. No, this one is there's actually a lot of growth. This thing is exploding, and the lights have done, because he's been running them for a few months already, and they have done a huge improvement in the tank quality, and it just looks beautiful.
Now that looks like it's like one of those bonsai setups, right? Like the rock work is all pre-made.
Rocks and stuff, right?
Yeah. You guys saw them in New Orleans. It was this company that used to make the branches, and it was all branch made. So there's actually no rock in the tank.
Yeah.
It's all done in that tank. Actually, Dave has to pour in food every day to keep phosphates and nitrates to above 0. With no rock, because he's got the lights, the algae scrubber, and those things work. I mean, God, do they work?
Yeah,
they're awesome. They're awesome. Proven technology. I mean, it's like we go back to, we can do the skimmer, we can do everything, and who would have thought that we go back to, hey, just run algae, so grow algae. It does it. That's it. So
nature is effective.
Yeah, let's talk about your so every day, so you have once a week. Is there a particular day when you release your show?
Thursdays.
Thursdays. So everybody, please sign up. And I know there's a couple of comments in there that they're going to start signing up for it because they're going to listen to it. But Thursdays, you got to sign up and listen to the guys, listen to Jeremy and Peter, because they are freaking awesome, you guys.
Yeah, and then if the show season ever comes back around, you probably, I usually do all 4 wraps, both Aquashellas, whatever we got local here in New England. I got to give a shout out to our buddies down at AAC in New Jersey, Aquarium Care Center. John, he runs a great shop down there, and he does an event every year, a customer appreciation event that I go down to for and kind of host and play the music and call the raffles and stuff. So,
Greater Niagara,
yeah, absolutely. We're supposed to do that this year. That's been bumped twice. So hopefully this year we get something going again. We can start going out to shows. But if you guys are ever out at a show and you see me around, please come up, say hi. I mean, I love meeting people.
Everybody, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I mean, I think it goes for everybody. Like I almost get embarrassed when people are like, oh, I didn't know if I should come up. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like a hobbyist, just like you. Jeremy and I signed like a legit autograph at the last show we were at, and it was the most surreal, insane thing I ever did. Well, I should say the most surreal and insane thing that has happened since we've done this podcast is our buddy now is Blaine Boone got a tattoo of our logo, a legitimate like 3-inch tattoo of our logo on his body. Like, no joke.
I sent that picture over to Jeff. I don't know if it cleared, but yeah, man, Blaine, shout out, absolute #1 fan status.
Oh my God. I see Michael Di Bonaventura. He listens to you guys every Friday on the way to work.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for sticking around. And I'm not sure what kind of work you do, but if you're working right now,
there it is.
Thank you so much for making it happen. Look at that.
No joke, Carlos. Like the most surreal thing that has ever happened in my life is that somebody like got this.
That is awesome. And what was his name again? Blaine Boone?
Blaine,
yes.
Boone, yeah.
Blaine, awesome, man. That is perfect.
Blaine and his buddy Dustin, who run the club down where they are in Tennessee, we're doing a show and things are uncertain like everything else. But I was coming down to the show and I was going to have his tattoo artist do me with the logo, so I get the logo too. So once the show goes down with those guys, I'm going to get the tattoo myself. So I figure if a fan can have it, then the person who started this whole thing should probably have it too.
I'll jump in there. I'll do that too.
Blaine just jumped in there right now. Blaine is actually watching right now. So
yeah,
Blaine, you rock, man. That's commitment, and that's like a mega fan. That's like a groupie almost.
and like the nicest guy you could ever meet. So
I can't wait.
Blaine's like 6'5", 300, like football player.
Oh my God.
Huge like presence in the room and like the sweetest
biggest teddy bear.
Oh, absolutely, man. If you ever see or have a chance to meet Blaine, go say hi to him at a show. And
I will.
Best dude you're ever gonna meet, man. Just such a true, honest guy.
I will love it. Okay, guys. Well, it's like I had the plan of this lasting about an hour, and that plan just went down the window. I mean, we're having some beers in here, and it's like you know what? I wanted to give people a glimpse on what happens at the shows after the show. When we all go to the hotel bar and we sit down and we just chat about the industry. We chat about things, and I wanted to squeeze in some stuff about CoralVue and make sure that everybody knew the products that we have and the awesome things that we're doing. But at the same time, I just wanted to have a conversation with you and have everybody join us, and it worked out so well. Thank you so much for being such a sport and for joining me on this and being so open to the idea.
Yeah, of course.
Much appreciated. I know you guys want to say. Do you guys want to say anything to your fans? Do you want to say anything to your listeners? Please take this. This is for you guys right now.
Shout out to the RNN Nation, everybody. You guys have been amazing to us. We love it.
Cheers to the RNN Nation.
Salud.
Cheers. Thank you. Peter, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, this whole experience has been humbling. I mean, just the fact, Carlos, that you would even think to reach out to us, include us in this is it's heartfelt. We love being part of this. We love being part of this industry, and 2 years ago, Jeremy and I were just hobbyists. We weren't anybody. We weren't fixtures in this industry. And I came up with this crazy idea. Jeremy believed in it. We put it together, and now we have a group of people that are tattooing themselves and asking for autographs. So I really honestly don't know what to say, but such a heartfelt thank you. To you guys, to CoralVue for everything you do, and having us on the show, and then the whole RNA Nation for doing everything they do to be a part of this. Guys, go check out CoralVue, all their products. You know this isn't lip service. We use them. Every product that was given away here, we personally use, or between Jeremy and I, we use them. So we know we believe in this stuff. Get out there, check them out, give them as much love as you give us. And Carlos, thank you to you and Jeremy and Jeff, the whole team, David, for doing this, putting this together. These are great. This is something totally different that this industry needed. Was just kind of a hangout and a talk session, and to have some drinks and be able to talk industry is awesome. So thank you so much again. Cheers, social to everybody.
Cheers.
And again, thank you.
Thank you. So anyway, I want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you for the Reef News Network, because you guys are awesome. Make sure you sign up for everything. Just like every show, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell for notifications, because those subscribe buttons, they make this channel and this shows happen. If we don't have the views and we don't have the likes, then I can't tell the boss this is working, so I can't spend time with Peter and Jeremy drinking beer. So as a personal selfish favor to me, please like the channel. But seriously, thank you so much. Support, please take the time, support local businesses, support your local fish store. They're here to help you. They're there every time you have an emergency and you need food, you need that tank, you need extra water, you need to buy something, and you can't wait for it to be delivered. So please, just like they're there, just like they are there for you every day of the year, please, let's be there for them right now when they need you the most.
Absolutely. Carlos, if I can just jump on that really quick. I don't know if it was one of you guys that said it or somebody else. If you want to support, I think it was Jeremy that said this, and I'm going to steal it from you, Jeremy. If you want to support your local fish store, but you don't need anything, buy a gift certificate to use later.
Yes.
Like that helps them now to get through this, even though later, you'll use it when you can. So that's just a little way. If you're struggling to figure out how to support them, you don't know, gift certificates are a great way to do it. And
absolutely.
And I totally stole that from Jeremy. So
yes, absolutely. And then thank you again for your beers, guys. Cheers to that. Support your local breweries as well, because they are there to help us in the toughest times sometimes. And like I said, and like we all say, not that it's gonna be a problem, but guys, please don't drink and drive back, your way back home. Just make sure that you Uber it to your bedroom or wherever you're going.
That's
right.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't drink and walk to the bedroom.
Yeah. So thank you so much for everyone for watching. And again, subscribe, CoralVue.com, Reef News Network. The next episode comes out on Thursday. And you know what? We know the people that watch, so we can track you down and make sure that you were watching, that you were listening. Have fun. You guys have been so amazing. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next time. Stay home and stay safe. Bye.